She told me my breathing was too loud, so I gave her something to really scream about. It all started with a knock that didn't sound like a neighbor, but like a judgment. I opened the door to see Karen, mid-50s, pearl earrings, short haircut sharper than her tongue, and a clipboard clutched like it was a sword. "Hi, I'm Karen, HOA board president," she announced like a badge of honor. "You just moved in 3 days ago, right?" I nodded. "Yeah, just settling in." Her lips tightened. "I already have a complaint." I raised an eyebrow. "Already?" "Yes," she sniffed, looking behind me like she expected to see a crime scene. "Your breathing, at night, it's loud." I blinked. "My breathing?" She crossed her arms. "I sleep with my window open. I can hear you inhale through your nose like a leaf blower. It's disrupting the peace." It was so ridiculous I actually laughed. That was the last thing she wanted. Her eyes sharpened. "This neighborhood values tranquility," she said coldly. "Let's keep it that way." Then she turned and walked away. Over the next few days, I tried to dismiss it as a one-time encounter. Maybe she was just having a bad night. But Karen was not a one-time anything. She was a full-time nuisance. Day 4, a written warning for audible footsteps on wooden porch. Day 6, a complaint for aggressive typing on laptop at night. Day 8, the humming of unfamiliar tunes in backyard. That one was especially ironic because I was wearing noise-canceling headphones. I visited a neighbor, Terrence, a chill 40-something biker guy. "Is she always like this?" He laughed. "Karen's the reason I moved my bedroom to the basement. She once said my coffee grinder was a threat to national peace." At first, I tried to accommodate. I laid rugs to soften my steps. I lowered the volume of everything I did. I even stopped humming. But it never ended, and every interaction became more absurd. One morning, I woke up to find a post-it stuck on my door. "Your sneezes are unnaturally loud. Please control them." I realized something important. This wasn't about noise. It was about control. Karen didn't want quiet. She wanted compliance. I wouldn't give her that. The turning point came 2 weeks later. I had gone for a jog at 6 a.m. I kept it quiet. No music, soft shoes, standard route. Still, she was waiting at my doorstep when I returned. "Your breathing." I could hear it from my upstairs window. It was heavy, intrusive, borderline disturbing. That time, I didn't laugh. I just stared. "Look," I said, "you don't get to control how I exist. If I breathe too loud, maybe move to Mars." She gasped like I had slapped her. "We'll see what the HOA thinks about your attitude." And with that, she turned and marched back across the street, clipboard bouncing like a weapon of war. The war had begun. Karen started small. She sent noise complaints to the HOA board daily. I got passive-aggressive flyers about community peace, tranquility workshops, and tips on mindful silence. Then came the visits from the HOA inspector, a skinny, bored guy named Dennis who clearly hated his job. She said you were sawing wood in the garage at 3 a.m. "I don't own a saw," I said. He shrugged. "Yeah, I figured." But it kept happening. Every day. False reports, baseless accusations, threats of fines. Karen was relentless, but she didn't know who she was messing with. She didn't know I used to be a sound engineer, that I had equipment, that I had skills, and that I had patience. A plan was forming, not of violence, not of petty retaliation. Something more poetic. The breath of revenge had begun. The first tactic was silence. Not just my silence, total silence. I wore socks on hardwood. I tiptoed like a ninja. I stopped using my blender, replaced it with a hand-crank juicer. No phone calls outside. No music. No late-night gaming. My home was quieter than a meditation retreat. Karen still complained. "He makes vibrations," she told the HOA. Dennis came by. Again. She says you hum like a generator. "I've literally been silent for 3 days straight," I replied. He chuckled. "Yeah, I know. Her complaints are getting weird." Then Karen left a note. "You are manipulating silence to intimidate me." I realized then, no matter what I did, she would escalate. I had to go beyond silence. I had to expose her. So I installed security cameras with audio, and I started recording everything. I collected weeks of footage, Karen lurking in her window, binoculars in hand, Karen sneaking over at night to place violation notes, Karen banging on my porch with a broom handle and then running away. Then I edited together a highlight reel. I posted it anonymously to the neighborhood Facebook group with a caption, "Is this how the HOA president should behave?" It went viral. The comment section exploded. "This is harassment." I knew she was watching me too. Karen's gone full psycho. Karen denied everything, but the footage didn't lie. Her support on the board wavered. She came to my house, livid. "You think you're clever? Posting videos of me? You're a threat to community peace." I just smiled. If my breathing was a problem, imagine what happens when I speak. She stormed off. It was time to unleash the next phase. I started hosting silent gatherings in my backyard. Just friends, sitting around, wearing noise-canceling headphones. No music, no talking, just peaceful vibes and quiet games. Karen tried to shut them down. They're conspiring in silence. The HOA couldn't do anything. Then came my performances. A local troupe volunteered to perform a drama titled "The Woman Who Heard Too Much." The neighborhood showed up with lawn chairs. Karen stood at her window, red-faced, fist-shaking. I printed T-shirts, "Let Him Breathe." Sold out in days. This was a masterpiece. Using my sound engineering background, I built custom wind chimes, not normal ones. Each was designed to catch certain wind frequencies and convert them into distorted, melodic metal riffs. Black Sabbath in a breeze, Metallica in a gust, Slayer when the storm hit. I installed them on the tree in my front yard. The first night a breeze rolled in, Karen screamed. "He's polluting the air with demonic noise." Dennis inspected it. They are wind-powered, technically art installations. Karen tried to cut them down herself. She got caught on camera. Again, police were called. She was charged with trespassing. The Facebook group renamed itself Karen Survival Support. Neighbors began coming forward. One said she reported them for gardening too energetically. Another shared audio of Karen screaming at a child for roller skating. The board finally held a vote. Karen was suspended, but she wasn't done, not even close. One morning, I found my mailbox smashed, wind chimes missing, my fence egged. Footage? Oh, Karen. I pressed charges. She filed a counter lawsuit, claimed I was intentionally creating psychological noise abuse. The courtroom showdown began. The judge looked baffled. "You're suing him for breathing." Karen brought in sound wave charts. I brought in neighbors, video, audio, social media posts. I played the footage of her admitting she lied on reports. Her own HOA colleagues testified against her. It was brutal. Her lawsuit was thrown out. Mine stuck. Karen was ordered to pay damages, legal fees, and publicly apologize. She refused, so her house went to auction. I bought her house, moved the wind chimes to her old porch, painted the mailbox gold with the words, "Breathe easy." The final piece? A sculpture installation on the lawn. A huge iron spiral titled, "The Breath of Freedom." When the wind hits it, it hums. Soft, low, and endless. Karen moved 2 states away. Nobody's heard from her since. As for me, I breathe freely now. Loudly, proudly, and with a smile.